am Liancel Humeres. I am Hani Yumil A. Hagara from BE Ed 1A. And these are the concepts that I have learned, and these are very helpful for me as a future educator. And how can I apply it into myself? The first one is the meaning and significance of diversity. Second one, importance of the different models of disability. Third one, the goal of pre-referral process, methods, and strategies. Fourth one, making school inclusive. And the last one, having an inclusive mindset or inclusion. Okay, let's start with the meaning and significance of diversity. The concept of diversity encompasses acceptance and respect. It means understanding that each individual is unique and recognizing our individual differences. Diversity is a reality created by individuals and groups from a broad spectrum of demographic and philosophical differences. And as a future educator, it is important to remind myself why diversity and cultural awareness is so crucial in the classroom and the benefits it can have in students now and in the long term. Teaching diversity exposes students to various cultural and social groups, preparing students to become better citizens in their communities. And also, diversity in education is a wonderful opportunity to create a better sense of community for our kids. Embracing diversity means accepting differences in others to raise broad-minded and well-educated children. We need to teach them to stand up to intolerance and discrimination and to reject stereotypes. And next is the importance of the different models of disabilities. Models of disability are tools for defining impairment and ultimately for providing a basis upon which government and society can devise strategies for meeting the needs of disabled people. And also, these models assess understanding by allowing one to examine and think about something that is not the real thing, but that may be similar to the real thing. People use a variety of models to obtain a clearer understanding of a problem or the world around them. We have two different models of disability. The first one is the medical model disability, and the second one is the social model disability. These models provide a framework for how people perceive those of us with disabilities, while the medical model is a helpful way of understanding illness and loss of function. People in the disability community have largely rejected it in favor of the social model. The social model helps us recognize barriers that make life harder for disabled people. Removing these barriers creates equality and offers disabled people more independence, choice, and control. For me, as a future educator, I would like to explain to my students that they have to be aware of learning disabilities. This has to be considered as one of the reasons a student is not making effective progress in the curriculum and or is having a difficulty in a particular subject area and therefore may need accommodation to provide access to themselves. And for me as a teacher, rather than setting different projects, assign the same one but allow the student with disabilities to work towards the goals in different ways. Use accommodations to help them like they are part of the class rather than separate. Create resources for a student, not just those with disabilities. The third one is the goal of the pre-referral process methods or strategies. The pre-referral process was developed to ensure researchers are provided reasonable accommodation and modification before they are referred for special education assessment. The pre-referral process allows experts to use strategies that draw on the researchers' strengths and meet their educational needs. As a future educator, pre-referral uses a problem-solving team to help me to find effective teaching strategies for your student who exhibit academic or behavioral difficulties. Of course, the mere fact that a student displays such a behavior does not necessarily mean that student requires special education services. And also, as a teacher, I will complete referrals only when I believe or see that a student requires additional intervention. Some students need this to help them overcome obstacles preventing them from achieving success, and others need this to help them communicate their needs and avoid outbursts. The third one is making school inclusive. In making the school more inclusive, general education teachers and special education teachers should work together to meet the needs of students. This gives special education students the support they need while they stay in a general education classroom. All students can benefit from inclusive classrooms. In summary, key factors in inclusive education implementation includes school and classroom level implementation such as school reviews and plans, trainings, and supporting all teachers in inclusive practices, not just specialized ones, and supporting school leadership to enact an inclusive vision for their school. And as a future educator, I would apply this concept into myself to make more the school inclusive. I have some inclusivity practices to be considered. I have here creating a supportive, respectful environment and promote diversity and fairness. Also, having a high expectation of all my students, creating a supportive peer culture both inside and outside in the classroom, and planning learning, which includes participation from everyone and encouraging success. And also, getting to know my students and let them get to know me also. And creating a safe space for my student to share. And delivering instruction in a variety of ways. And choosing a relevant literature. And as a teacher, I would prefer myself in dealing with the low-level disruption in a sensitive way. Create opportunities to listen to all in my students. Develop a scaffolded approach to learning, and being aware of the specific needs of every child in my class. The fourth one is having an inclusive mindset. The first step to developing a more inclusive mindset is to recognize the importance of bringing diverse perspectives together. The traits which define an inclusive mindset includes respect for others, open-mindedness, curiosity, cultural competence, kindness, lack of ego, and empathy. The question is, how can you have an inclusive mindset? You have first, inclusive mindset in why it matters, and also be brave in leaning into the discomfort, and be humble and respect diverse experiences, and you have also be dedicated in committing to awareness and advocacy. As a future educator, in having an inclusive mindset, It possesses such as characteristics as efficient use of time, good relationship with my students, provides positive feedback, has a high student success rate, and in general provides support for my students with and without disabilities. And as a teacher, I will make it personal, providing opportunities for my students to share their own experiences and perspectives, include various perspectives, provide a variety of perspectives on the topic I have teach. Knowing my student also, it's very it's very helpful for me to know my students and watch for problematic assumptions. Respect diverse students, and the last one is to respect diverse talents. And that's all. Thank you very much.